Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is the first time here. In today's video, I'll be sharing with us how to sew a wrap crop top. I'm going to be taking us through the cutting process and also the sewing process. So if you're interested in learning something like this, keep on watching and make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're not yet subscribed to this family, like this video, share this video with your friends, drop your questions and suggestions in the comment section, and turn on your post notification bell so that you'll be updated whenever I post new videos. And let's head straight into this tutorial. First things first, I am going to be marking out the length of my blouse. I'm going to be using a length of 18 inches, so I'm going to be marking that 18 inches. If you look closely, you see that the actual length that I have is 20 inches, so the extra 2 inches will be hemming allowance. So this is me marking the same 18 inches on this other side so that I'll have a straight line when I am connecting like this. So after connecting, the next measurement I'm going to be imputing will be my bust point measurement, and my bust point measurement is 11 inches, and I have marked that down, and I am going to go ahead to mark it on this other side of my fabric so that of course I'll have a straight line when I am connecting. And I'll go ahead and label this my lines right now. Next, I am going to come to the top of this my fabric and I will impute my shoulder measurement, which is 16 divided by 2 is 8 plus extra ½ inch to join the sleeves. And also on this same line, I am also going to be imputing my neck width measurement. I'm going to be using a neck width of 3 inches and a neck depth of 1 inch. Bear in mind that this is the back pattern that I am drafting. Okay, I am going to first of all cut out the back piece of this my blouse, then I'll use the back to cut out the front. So I'm using a neck depth of 1 inch and I have connected it. Now on this my shoulder measurement that I marked, I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch and I'm going to slant that into the neckline, and this will form my shoulder slants. Now from this my shoulder slant, I am going to be marking my armhole measurement, half of my armhole measurement. So you divide what you have on your armhole by 2 and you mark that down. And this is just me going ahead to mark my shoulder measurement here to make sure that I have a straight line when I am connecting. So after ruling out this my lines, I'm going to find the midpoint of this my armhole line that I have. I'm going to divide it into 2 and I'll mark that down to have my midpoint. Now from this my midpoint, I'm going to be going in by ½ inch and I'll be using my curve ruler to create my armhole. Next, I'm going to be imputing 1/4 of my bust measurement. I divided my bust measurement by 4 and I marked down the figure, and I'm going to be using 2 inches for my seam allowance, and I have also marked that down. Next thing I'm going to do is go to my length area and mark 1/4 of my waist measurement, because that is basically my waist area. So I'll mark my waist measurement divided by 4 and I'll also go ahead and add my 2 inches for seam allowance, and I will use my ruler to connect this point, and after this I am going to cut this out. All right guys, I'm sorry my camera stopped filming while I was cutting this out, but what I basically did was cut around these lines that I have here. So I'm just going to keep this aside and I'll introduce the fabric that I'll be using for my front piece. So what I'm going to do is actually bring my back piece now and lay it on this front piece. And if you notice, there is an extension. Okay, I have about 7 inches extension from the center back, okay, which is basically 1/4 of my waist measurement. So that is what I have here, an extension of 7 inches all around. Next thing I'm going to do now is determine how much flesh I want to show. I don't want to be showing too much flesh, so I'm going to be marking 6 inches. Okay, I want to be fully covered, but if you want to show more flesh, go ahead and use as low as 8, 9, 10 inches. So what I'm doing here is actually mark out where my neck width is actually, and I am going to place my ruler in such a way that I connect that my neck width to the 6 inches point that I marked earlier. And right here, this is me marking out 2 inches, which is actually for my hemming allowance, and this is me marking out another 1.5 inches because the band that I'm going to be using, or the belt that I'm going to be using, is going to be 1.5 inches long, and I'm going to just connect these points together. So if you want to use a belt or a band that is longer than 1.5 inches or smaller, you just adjust that. So what I'm going to do now is grab my scissors and cut around this area. So I hope this is clear. So after cutting it out, guys, this is what I have. So for now, I'm going to be putting this aside and I'll introduce the fabric that I'll be using for the sleeves. So guys, let's go ahead and cut our sleeves. So I already have a fabric that is 23 inches long and 10 inches wide, and this is on fold. Okay, I just want to have a little puff sleeve situation going on. So from the top of this my sleeve, I'm going to be marking 5 inches. Okay, and from the center front of this my sleeve, I'm going to be marking about 3 inches to 3.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is I am going to quickly create a curve. I'm going to match this my 5-inch point to my 3.5-inch point and just kind of create a curve for my armhole. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is bringing back like my main bodies and measuring out my entire armhole to see what I have there. And the next thing I'm going to do is actually mark out that measurement that I have on my armhole on this my curve here that I made, just to make sure that I don't have shortages or excesses. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slant this line out. I hope this is clear. Okay, just watch carefully and you will understand what I did. So what I'm going to do now is take my scissors and cut around these areas. After cutting, guys, this is what I have. I'm going to fold this and keep this aside, and I'll be introducing the material, the pieces that I'll be using for my cuffs, my band. Okay, that's going to be around the sleeve area. Okay, this my band is actually on fold, and for the length of this band it is going to be 5 inches, and right here I have 10 inches. Okay, so if I put this on fold, I have 5 inches. Okay, my wrist measurement is 9 inches divided by 2 is 4.5 inches, and the other half inch is for sewing allowance. So right here I have my back bodies, and I'm going to layer my front bodies onto my back bodies. I'm going to carefully arrange it. Okay, I'm also bringing the other part of my front bodies and I'm going to carefully arrange it onto the back bodies, and I will pin this down at the shoulders. And after pinning it down at the shoulders, I will take it to my sewing machine and stitch it down using 1/2 inch. All right, and after stitching it down, this is what I have. Okay, you can see how beautiful it is looking already. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open this up around, and I'm going to be attaching my sleeve to the armhole. So what I did is I pinned the middle of my sleeve to the shoulder point, and after pinning it all around the armhole, I'm going to take it down to my sewing machine and stitch it down by 1/2 inch. And after stitching it down by 1/2 inch, guys, this is what it looks like. I stitched down both sleeves to the armholes, and this is what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually close this at the sides. Okay, I'm going to match the same points together, that armhole point. Okay, I'm going to make sure that the same points are well aligned together, and I am going to pin this all the way down at the side of the bodies and the side of the sleeves. I'm going to pin it down, and after pinning it down, I'll take it to my sewing machine and I'll stitch it down by the allowance that I left. After stitching it down and turning it to the right side, this is what we have. Our wrap top is already taking shape. So now I'm going to be bringing back the piece that we want to use for our band or for the cuffs, and I'm going to fold it in this manner and stitch it down by 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm going to open it up. Watch carefully so that you see how I am folding it, and I'm going to take it to the same machine and stitch it by 1/2 inch. So at the same time, I am also going to be hemming my blouse. Okay, remember we left 2 inches for hemming allowance, so I'm going to fold it in by 1 inch and fold it in by another 1 inch to hem this my blouse all at once. So guys, after hemming my blouse, this is what it looks like. It's looking very beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside and I'll show you my cuffs. I also stitched it down by 1/2 inch. So I'm going to fold this inside out right now, and I need you to watch closely on how I'm going to be folding it. I'm going to be folding it in such a way that all the seam allowances are kind of concealed inside. You won't see any raw edge when you flip it to the other side. So I just want you to watch carefully. You're going to be seeing how I'm going to be folding it. Okay, I hope you understand this. Okay, so after folding it, this is what I have, and I'm going to bring my sleeve. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this my cuff, right side facing right sides. I am going to pin it to the sleeve. I'm going to match the same point and I'll pin it together. Now because our sleeve is bigger than our cuff, we are going to be gathering it or pleating it in to fit into this cuff, so that we'll have a little bit of gathers and puff situation going on. So right here I am introducing the fabric that I'll be using for my band. The length of this my fabric is 4 inches, and when I fold it into 2, I'll have 2 inches. So I'll be using 1/2 inch to stitch it in, and when I flip it out I'll have 1.5 inches. I'm also going to be closing one end of this my band. So guys, here this is what I have after stitching it down. You can see a little gather situation that I'm talking about, and a little puff situation going on right here. And also this is my band, my belt fabric that I already sewed down, and as you can see I concealed one end and one end is raw. So what I'm going to do is I am going to be pinning this down to, remember that 1.5 inches that I marked out when I was actually trying to draft out this front pattern. Okay, so I'm going to take it and take a pin and pin it down at this point, and we'll be stitching that down. So guys, at the same time I am going to be finishing up the neckline of this my blouse using this long strip of fabric that I cut out. It's about 1 inches long. So I am going to be placing it on the right side of my fabric, and I'm going to make a stitch on it, and I'll fold it inside out and make a top stitch to finish up the neckline. And after finishing up our neckline and attaching our belt, this is what we have. Our crop top is ready at this point. So what I'm going to do is give it a nice press. No, I'll first of all overlock all the raw edges, give it a nice press, and I'll put it on for you guys to see. So guys, as you can see, this top is very beautiful. You can dress it up, you can dress it down, you can style it with your pencil skirt, your jeans, your flared skirt, whatever, however way you like, and it is really easy to create. So guys, we have come to the end of today's tutorial, and if you found this video helpful in any way, please go ahead and give this video a like so that more people can get to see it. Subscribe to this channel if you're not yet subscribed. Drop your questions and your suggestions in the comments section. Share this video with your friends and turn on your post notification bell so that you'll be the first person to watch my videos when they come out. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.